Burning Question, powered by Motorola Razr 40, co-powered by Sera and Maersk.
सदन में चर्चा के लिए तैयार हूं। मुझे मालूम नहीं है कि विपक्ष को चर्चा करने देना नहीं चाहता।
The government agrees for discussion on Manipur. Senior ministers extend an olive branch, but the logjam still continues in the parliament.
What is shocking is the insistence of the opposition parties to not allow facts to come to the fore.
Sloganeering and protest despite assurances that have come in from the government. The BJP says the Congress is deliberately stalling any kind of debate. The Rajya Sabha chair suspends the Aam Aadmi Party MP Sanjay Singh for repeated protest on the floor of the House. The Red Diary controversy explodes. The sacked Rajasthan minister waves the Red Diary on the floor of the Assembly.
इस पार्ट के अंदर आपके सारे काले कारनामे जो लोगों ने आपने विधायकों को खरीदा, किस किस एमएलए को राज्यसभा में आपने निर्दलीयों को क्या क्या दिया, किस किस को प्रलोभन दिया, क्रिकेट के चुनाव में आपने क्या क्या काले कारनामे किए पैसे दे दे के।
Once a Congress insider, the ex-minister now says the Red Diary is a record of Congress's own corruption.
इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट में इसकी दोबारा हियरिंग होने वाली है और 2 दिन में फिर से इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट ये कॉल लेगी कि इसको रोकना है कि नहीं रोकना है। तो ये बहुत ही टेम्पररी इंटरिम इंजंक्शन है और इसकी फुल बहस इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट में होगी।
The Supreme Court orders an interim stay on the SI survey on Gyanvapi, the Muslim side, to approach the High Court in the meantime. Hello and a very good evening. The show is called The Burning Question and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. They say this is about Manipur. They say really concerned, we are angry about what has happened in Manipur, so let's have a debate on the floor of the House. Which looks like a valid argument. But then they put a condition. They say we cannot allow for a discussion unless and until the Prime Minister makes a statement on the floor of the House. That is the condition. So is the condition more important or a discussion on Manipur more important? The pain of the people in Manipur, is that more important for the opposition? On the other side, the government says we are doing everything possible to ensure that we have a healthy discussion on the floor of the House. Today you had the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who spoke in the Parliament. He appealed to the entire opposition. In fact, what he said is important. He said the government is ready to discuss, but we don't know why the opposition, they said, is running away from a debate. He also went on to say that India must know the real truth about what has happened in Manipur. And he said, I appeal to the entire opposition to participate in a healthy discussion on the floor of the House in Manipur. What has the opposition said and done so far? We have seen ruckus, we have seen sloganeering. In fact, I'll also request our team to put out images of the entire protest that you have seen by the opposition today inside and outside the Parliament. They said unless and until the Prime Minister makes a statement on the floor of the House, we cannot accept any kind of discussion. They obviously don't remember the fact that the Prime Minister, before the Parliament session even started, spoke on Manipur. And he said, and he spoke on the viral video, if all of you recall, and he said that he's extremely livid. He's very angry and he's jolted. He also said that we will try to ensure that there is exemplary punishment that is meted out to those responsible. So you've seen multiple days till now in the monsoon session, but zero work. And again the same question that we ask ourselves as in taxpayers, as you look at these proceedings on the floor of the House, who is running away from a discussion on Manipur? If they really want a discussion on Manipur, why are they putting conditions? And then the questions also that go out to the government, to the treasury benches. Why can't the Prime Minister make the same statement on the floor of the House? Will the Prime Minister be sitting through a discussion if and when that happens on Manipur? Then we also remember what Arun Jaitley, had famously said about disruption. And he had said that disruption is an equally important part in any democracy. This is when the BJP was in the opposition. But in the middle of all this, the question we are asking, who really is concerned about Manipur? Or the idea is just to make a political drama out of Manipur so that both the sides, whether it is the government or it is the opposition, can say we are concerned. Who will fix accountability? Who will answer those questions? Today again, we have seen a complete washout of the entire day in the parliament, particularly in the Rajya Sabha. You've also seen the Rajya Sabha there forced to suspend the Aam Aadmi Party MP from the Aam Aadmi Party, that is Sanjay Singh, for the remainder of the session. The Aam Aadmi Party says that is not acceptable. So will we only see more ruckus, more chaos, or will we actually see a discussion on Manipur? And who does not want the truth on Manipur? Let's first bring up the entire story, what we've heard, how the government has reached out to the opposition, but what is the opposition's own condition, and then we debate.
The monsoon session commenced last week.
आज जब लोकतंत्र के मंदिर में इस सावन के पवित्र मास में मिल रहे हैं तो ये लोकतंत्र का मंदिर ऐसे अनेक पवित्र कार्य करने के लिए इससे बड़ा उत्तम अवसर नहीं हो सकता। मुझे विश्वास है कि सभी माननीय सांसद मिलकर के इस सत्र का जनहित में सर्वाधिक उपयोग करेंगे।
And on all 3 days, it was disrupted by an average of less than a minute since the commencement. The opposition has been demanding discussion of Manipur.
हम रूल्स के तहत डिस्कशन पूछ रहे, वो लोग तैयार नहीं हैं, तो इसीलिए हम चाहते हैं कि इसको वो रेस्टोर करे बातचीत के लिए, और ये हमारे लोग भी उसमें हिस्सा ले, ताकि मणिपुर इशू बहुत बड़ा इशू है, एक छोटा मोटा इशू नहीं है।
The centre says they are ready to talk.
Amit Shah ji has repeatedly said that in both houses of parliament, he as Minister in charge of Home Affairs would like to bring certain facts to light. That the discussion is important from a perspective of national security, internal security. What is shocking is the insistence of the opposition parties to not allow facts to come to the fore.
And yet, 3 days since the start of the monsoon session, the deadlock continues.
सत्ताधारी दल के और विपक्ष के दोनों ओर के सदस्य ने चर्चा की मांग की है। मैं सदन में चर्चा के लिए तैयार हूं। मुझे मालूम नहीं है कि विपक्ष को चर्चा करने देना नहीं चाहता।
The government reached out to opposition and the speaker, but all in vain. Who wants to block the parliament? That's the burning question tonight. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So again, like I said, it's very important to ask the most important question. If they really want a discussion on Manipur, why does the opposition put a condition? and the government, if they are okay with a discussion on Manipur, what is the problem if the Prime Minister is available for a part of this discussion and he makes a statement that he made even outside the parliament? So questions today that should go out to all sides. As I say, good evening to Neha Joshi, spokesperson of the BJP with us. Nikhil Jain is an advocate and a political analyst. Khalikur Rahmanji is a spokesperson for the BRS. Ravi Srivastava, who leans towards the AAP. And Nilanjan Das is a political analyst. He leans towards the TMC with us. Let's begin this discussion with Neha Joshi, who represents the BJP. Neha, can you tell us why has the Chief Minister of the state of Manipur not been sacked? What is the problem if, you sack him, send in a loud enough message? Because I think that is the most important question that people have been asking. And then what stops the Prime Minister from making the same statement, Neha, that he is made outside in the parliament on Manipur and get this discussion going?
Thank you so much. Good evening. Thank you for having me here. Now, first of all, what is it that the nation is looking for? The sacking of a chief minister or a solution to this deadlock that we've had for the past 80 days in Manipur? I think that is the big question that we need to debate upon. Now, look at the chronology of demand of the opposition. The opposition said that the Prime Minister must break his silence. The Prime Minister came out and issued a statement. The opposition then said that disrupted the parliament and said that we want all business suspended until we have a debate on Manipur. The government said, let's have a debate on Manipur. The Home Minister, who in this case is the minister in charge, who has in fact spent time in Manipur and is aware of the minutest of details of what's happening there, he said, I will be leading the charge. Now the opposition says, no, we do not want a debate. We want the Prime Minister to make a statement. You see, Deepthi, the role of opposition in this country is reduced to theatrics right now. They are not looking for solutions, because if they were looking for solutions, they would debate. The government is open to debate.
No,
what is stopping them from coming on the floor of the House and debating this issue?
No, what solution have you found out in last 80 days?
Let her complete her point. Then we'll ask her questions. We'll ask her counter questions, but please let her complete her point.
We have been hearing it again and again.
Ravi, relax. There are a lot of...
You have a habit.
1 second. Ravi, this is exactly how you derail a debate. Exactly what has been happening in the parliament. Ravi? Relax. Let her please complete her point. We'll go turn by turn so everyone can be heard. It's important because people today are looking for answers both from the government and from the opposition. Ravi. Neha, please complete your point.
So, Deepthi, in a democracy, you can't have an all or nothing attitude. Here, the Home Minister, who is authorized to speak on this, he is responsible for internal security and affairs. He's saying, let's have a debate right now. And is that not what they wanted? And can you imagine if we were debating this issue in Parliament right now, perhaps a lot of questions that you, I, parliamentarians and common citizens of the country would have, they would have been answered. Can you imagine what the reason would be for the opposition to stall such a debate? I think the nation today is watching the opposition, that instead of having a civilized debate, there was sloganeering in Parliament. It was reduced to a Pradarshan site, which is what Jantar Mantar is.
Can I respond?
Neha, okay. I've allowed you to make your opening comment. Ravi, relax. I have a quick counter question to Neha. Neha, the point is, when your chief minister is a part of a problem, you can't expect him to give solution. I don't know how many people must die, how many people must be displaced, how many women need to be gang raped for the system to wake up, and then such videos to go viral. So the chief minister clearly hasn't covered himself in glory, Neha. There is a lot of accountability that you have to establish. The second point, that you made about the opposition doing dharna, pradarshan, Arun Jaitley ji famously said, obstructionism is a legitimate tool of protest. And this is when the BJP was in the opposition. So, you must also appreciate the fact that it's important to oppose certain things. But that does not mean that you will cite back the rule book perhaps today to the Congress. But Nikhil, people will still ask you this, that, if you can get a discussion started on Manipur, why don't you do that? Because you might have, an opportunity to put the government on the mat. Let them put out their statement, then you find loopholes in that statement. But to say that, no, we'll put this condition unless Modi makes a statement. So this proves the point that this is all just about Modi and Modi hatred, Nikhil.
I'm wearing black as a mark of protest today because today we have a Prime Minister who is constantly on the run from accountability. What the opposition wants is a long discussion, a non-time-bound discussion on Manipur, because it is not just an issue of national security, it is also the issue of women's safety, women's security, and how the complete utter failure of the state government run by the BJP.
That's what the government was giving you today. Why did
Madam,
you
the government was not Neha. That was not what the government was offering today. The government wanted a time-bound discussion restricted to 2 hours, in which 1 hour Modi would have come and said that look, such incidents happen in Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, West Bengal, all the opposition would say. So look, this is not a big deal.
Under Rule 176.
What the opposition wants, what the opposition wants.
Nikhil, you're putting out a forecast. You never know that. No, you're saying the Prime Minister would have done this. You have a problem if the Prime Minister speaks. You have a problem if the Prime Minister does not speak. So you're running with the hare, hunting with the hound, and you're getting caught in your own, entire points of putting conditions, then pulling out, then going in, coming out, Nikhil.
What did the Prime Minister say outside the Parliament on Manipur? You started the debate by asking that why is the Prime Minister not ready to say in the Parliament what he told and what he said outside the Parliament? What did he say outside the Parliament? That Manipur में बुरा हुआ है, देश का नाम खराब हो रहा है, ऐसे किस्से छत्तीसगढ़ में हो, राजस्थान में हो, वेस्ट बंगाल में हो.
Are you looking for answers and solutions, or are you looking for statements?
Prime Minister of the people.
So will you also now decide, Ravi Srivastava, what the Prime Minister has to say? Because Nikhil might want to do that, but like no one can dictate to the AAP or to the Congress कि आपको ये बयान देना. You can't dictate to the BJP. He is the Prime Minister. He is the Prime Minister. He will say what he believes needs to be said.
What are you talking
he
about?
Said he's anguished, Ravi.
All this mess.
He said he will set an example and there is going to be exemplary punishment. Should you, Nilanjan, I'm going to come to you. But Ravi, on an issue as sensitive as this, should politics guide all your principles? Or should you also have a large heart and say, okay, let's begin the discussion. Let's get started. People in Manipur have been watching, television sets. They say you are in the opposition to be able to fix accountability and ask questions of the government, but you are not doing that either, Ravi.
Whatever this nation has witnessed in Manipur, via the videos, via the statement of the victim lady's husband who was a Kargil war veteran, the statement he made, the kind of statement made by the BJP MLA of Manipur, and the way the image of India has been tarnished across the world, I think it's a very small request for making to Prime Minister of the country, who calls himself to be a Pradhan Sevak, should come inside the Parliament and make a statement over there. Outside he made a lot of statements.
That's really rich coming from a person who has questioned the surgical strike in the past.
50 crore,
I've been on this channel in a debate with you where you have questioned surgical strike. You've questioned the valor of our army. So let's not make this about our army, please.
And absolutely timid Prime Minister. He has no guts to face the people now. I can tell you.
No, Ravi, how do you know he would have not intervened? The Union Home Minister is in charge. Is in charge of law and order. He said he is willing to put out a statement on the floor of the House. And going by past precedents, we have seen the Prime Minister intervening on a lot of important issues. You can't preempt that he would, no? Or he would not. Ravi, you can't decide that. No, you can't look into the future, right? The point is that if you're really serious, Nilanjan, about a discussion, Mamata Banerjee did not even allow for a discussion on Bengal violence. But on the floor of the House, in the Parliament, you can have a discussion on Manipur and then ask relevant questions of the government, Nilanjan.
No, Dipti, 1 minute.
So why to stall a discussion?
Dipti, there are dedicated places to have protests. The Parliament is meant for discussion. A discussion that the government was willing to have. Why not do that?
I think my name has been called.
I just told you what happened in 2013. In the run-up to the 2014 elections, you have seen washouts after washouts in the Parliament when the BJP was also in the opposition. So you know how they protest, for how long they continue those protests. And I've told you what Arun Jaitley had then said. He had justified these protests. But the point is, there is also a hypocrisy on the opposition's platform. Neha, I'm going to come back to you. Nilanjan, complete your point, please. Yes.
I didn't even start.
So the government is totally rattled by the
Yes,
opposition.
please complete your
unity.
point.
This is point number one. The opposition is wanting a discussion under Rule 267. Why is the government running away? Why is the Prime Minister not bold enough to come to the floor of the Parliament and issue a statement, a suo motu statement? What is stopping him from doing that? Why can't he face the parliamentarians? If he can't even face his colleagues, how will he face the nation? So this is point number one. And why are you saying that the opposition is responsible? How is the opposition responsible? It is entirely the responsibility of Mr. Modi and his
You
BJP
are in the opposition,
party.
Nilanjan, because you have to ask questions of accountability. You know, that is the reason why in a healthy democracy,
who is
it's important to
accountable?
not
The
just
Prime
have a
Minister is
government
accountable.
that is
Modi
strong
is
enough, but also
accountable.
important to have a strong enough opposition that raises people's
Deepti,
concerns.
Deepti, I think the BJP should be thankful of the opposition that they are asking him only to speak and not to resign. This is the first point. He has created a chaos of the entire Northeast. It is just not limited to Manipur. You have to understand. And you are reporting, your reporting is also not complete, I would say. And you are bringing in issues from Bengal and law and order issues from Bengal and Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. All these things are diversionary tactics. And let me tell you, this cannot be a short duration discussion. This cannot be a short duration discussion. And why are you not
what about
bringing in the
Nilanjan is
why are
what
you not
everyone
talking
can be
about-
accused of.
why are
Mr.
you
Rahman has
talking
still
about
not
the
spoken.
undemocratic behavior of the Rajya Sabha chairman who suspended an honorable member of parliament just for asking the Prime Minister to answer these questions. He has been suspended. So this is
Okay, we'll ask Neha that question, but before that happens, Nilanjan.
No, please ask this question.
Okay, I want to go to Mr. Rahman, who hasn't spoken till yet. Mr. Rahman, what should happen, sir? What should happen? Who do you today think is guilty? Is the government being adamant the government does not want a discussion on Manipur, or you would blame the opposition that right now is calling itself India?
Yeah, let me tell you that as far as the government is concerned, government in fact is guilty. And government does not want to have a lengthy discussion on this. Government wants to have a discussion under Rule 176. But why not government have a discussion under Rule 267, wherein if the government also wants to discuss about Rajasthan, let them discuss. But let them first discuss Manipur. And while actually appreciating our Honorable Home Minister for favoring the Parliament by making an offer to debate, then why is our Honorable Prime Minister running away? Prime Minister being the leader of the Lok Sabha, he is accountable to the House, he is accountable to the people, and whatever he has spoken outside he should also speak the same thing before his own colleagues, before the opposition party.
You want him to make the same statement, Mr. Rahman, you want him to make the same statement inside. How will that change anything? You know, if this hasn't just become an ego battle, unless you just want him to read the same statement inside that he made outside, how will that change anything?
Then he'll become accountable.
Let him first come to the Parliament.
Whatever he is talking in
and the opposition's demand is
So this is about ego, no? This is about the ego of the opposition. Ravi?
No, this is not the ego.
Ravi, you're making this about the ego of the opposition. This is not about Manipur. This is not of the pain of the people in Manipur. This is not about their concerns.
Because the entire country is looking up to it. And now, is it really fair that we are, the Parliament is being disrupted and it is being, adjourned? And what's happening for the last 3 days? Not even a single business has taken up. And when the opposition has given the notice under Section 267, the government should have immediately accepted it and conducted the discussion and the debate on that. So
So I have limited time. So I'll just give the last 30 seconds to Neha. Neha, what happens tomorrow? Will you concede? The government today has extended an olive branch to the opposition. Can the government have a large heart? Will you allow a discussion under 267?
The opposition MPs have also submitted notices under Rule 176. You know, unfortunately, my fellow panelists may not be aware of that, but Mr. Meghwal on the floor of the House has shared this with the country and the parliamentarians. Now, this is not about the government conceding. The government has said, let's have an open discussion. Let's have it right now. Now, if the opposition is wanting to disrupt the parliament, they want a washout of the session, they can go ahead and do that. The government will continue to work for solutions for peace in Manipur. That is what the government is committed
But
to
Neha,
doing, and they will
Neha,
continue
is
to do
the
that.
larger truth that the government also is embarrassed. You know, Neha, accept it. Your chief minister in Manipur is not resigning. The Home Minister Amit Shah was in the state of Manipur. He spent at least 4 days there. There is going to be a lot of accountability that will be asked of you, no, Neha?
The Home Minister standing on the floor of the House. And
So right now, it's a united opposition.
The ball is now in
Plus the BRS versus Neha. But that's all the time I have. That's all the time I have. Apologies. Neha and all gentlemen, because of want of time. But, you know, it's important that we keep our focus there. At 9, Arnab is asking that big question again, who does not want to debate on Manipur. I thank all of you right now for joining us. We are back on the other side with lots more.
The top-ranked Amity BTech attracts some of the most brilliant students of India who get global exposure at the 5-week study abroad program at Amity's global campuses at no additional tuition fee. To apply, visit amity.edu.
मैं सदन में चर्चा के लिए तैयार हूं। मुझे मालूम नहीं है कि विपक्ष को चर्चा करने देना नहीं चाहता।
The government says ready for debate, but logjam continues in both houses, adjourned till tomorrow. Amid mega ruckus and face-off, Aam Aadmi Party Sanjay Singh suspended for the rest of monsoon session.
हालत अभी भी काफी नाजुक है यहाँ पर। कल भी फायरिंग हुआ है, स्कूल एक जला दिया गया है। स्कूल किसने जलाया?
हमें शक है कि जैसे पहले से होता जा रहा है, मैतेई लिपुन और अरम्बाई तेंगर और उनके आगे जो फोर्स आता है वो हमेशा कमांडो रहता है।
Manipur remains on the edge. Fresh firing in Manipur. Republic gets you the testimonies of the victims.
इस पार्ट के अंदर आपके सारे काले कारनामे जो लोगों ने अपने विधायकों को खरीदा, किस एमएलए को राज्यसभा में आपने निर्दलीयों को क्या दिया, किस को प्रलोभन दिया, क्रिकेट के चुनाव में आपने क्या काले कारनामे किए पैसे दे के।
Red diary controversy explodes. Sacked Rajasthan minister waves diary on the floor of the assembly.
कहीं न कहीं दाल में कुछ लाल है कि नहीं, काला जरूर है। मैं अशोक गहलोत साहब से पूछना चाहता हूं कि वो लाल डायरी क्या है और उस लाल डायरी को लेकर के सरकार में और माननीय मुखिया जी में इतनी घबराहट क्यों है?
BJP's massive attack on Gehlot government over red diary asked Gehlot to clarify alleged links to Congress headquarters.
2 दिन के अंदर इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट में इसकी दोबारा हियरिंग होने वाली है और 2 दिन में फिर से इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट ये कॉल देगी कि इसको रोकना है कि नहीं रोकना है। तो ये बहुत ही टेम्पररी इंटरिम इंजंक्शन है और इसकी फुल बहस इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट में होगी।
Supreme Court stays ASI survey at Gyanvapi for 2 days, asks Muslim side to approach Allahabad High Court. Against the rising atrocities and crimes against women in Rajasthan. Meanwhile, the opposition also staged a protest demanding a discussion on Manipur in the parliament. There was a massive ruckus and sloganeering in both the houses.
हाँ बोलिए, हाँ बोलिए, बस बैठिए, आप मेरी मत कीजिए। नो, आप विनम्रता के तहत एक छोटी सी बात रखने का कोशिश कर रहे हैं। शुरू के दिन से ही हम ये बोलते आ रहे हैं।
Was suspended from Rajya Sabha for the remaining duration of the monsoon session for repeatedly violating the directives of the chair. The sacking of Rajendra Singh Guda as Rajasthan minister has taken a new turn, with the MLA dropping hints of a red diary containing incriminating evidence details about CM Ashok Gehlot.
गहलोत साहब वो डायरी का आधा पार्ट आपने आपके विधानसभा में गुंडागर्दी करके मेरे से छीन लिया और आधा पार्ट मेरे पास अभी और है। इस पार्ट के अंदर आपके सारे काले कारनामे जो लोगों ने आपने विधायकों को खरीदा, किस किस एमएलए को राज्यसभा में आपने निर्दलीयों को क्या क्या दिया, किस किस को प्रलोभन दिया, क्रिकेट के चुनाव में आपने क्या क्या काले कारनामे किए पैसे दे दे के, वो सारी चीजें अभी खुलासा मैं आगे भी करूंगा।
After he was evicted from the House on Monday, Staff Minister Rajendra Gowda prevented from even entering the Assembly building by House Marshals. Last Friday, he was removed by Gehlot soon after he spoke of alleged assaults against women in the state. BJP leaders staged a protest at the Gandhi statue demanding answers from the Gehlot government over the rise in crime cases and atrocities against women in Rajasthan.
Rajasthan is asking, what are the black deeds in the red diary? The red diary that Gehlotji wanted so desperately. The red diary about which Rajendra Gowda is talking now. If there were black deeds of corruption of thousands of crores in Rajasthan, or the black deeds of saving criminals and rapists, which was done by Rajasthan government, only the person who was desperate for this diary knows what is there in this diary.
Meanwhile, in a development in the investigation into Manipur barbarism, Manipur police said that 14 people have been identified from a video of two women who were stripped and paraded. Police said that the action has been initiated to arrest them. Already 6 people have been arrested in this case. 2 months after Seema Haider entered India illegally, a similar case has surfaced. A married woman of Indian nationality, Anju, travelled to Pakistan from Delhi to meet Pakistani national. However, unlike Seema, who sneaked into India without any travel papers, Anju was granted entry into Pakistan by the authorities on the basis of a valid visa. A blast has been reported in a shop in Haryana's Yamunanagar, causing panic across the city. The police has begun an investigation. The cause behind the explosion is still being ascertained.
सदन में चर्चा के लिए तैयार हूं। मुझे मालूम नहीं है कि विपक्ष को चर्चा करने देना नहीं चाहता।
The government says ready for debate, but logjam continues in both houses, adjourned till tomorrow.
Trending burning question powered by Reva University, NECC and Century Ply.
Welcome back, friends, to this section of Trending Burning Question. Christopher Nolan's film about J. Robert Oppenheimer, the man who, as the father of the atomic bomb, has angered many Indian moviegoers due to the reference of Bhagavad Gita during an intimate scene. Many have taken to Twitter wondering how the censor board cleared that. The particular scene also angered many Hindu groups and culture activists who have demanded a ban on the movie all over India, or perhaps at least removal of that particular bit. The Information Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur also has taken a note of the same and sought a reply from the CBFC. Here's a report on what the controversy is all about, and then we debate.
Christopher Nolan's film Oppenheimer has stirred a massive controversy. The reading of Bhagavad Gita verses during an intimate scene has triggered outrage among Hindu groups.
It's perhaps very insensitive, tone deaf and disrespectful to see the Oppenheimer movie fusing the scenes which quotes Bhagavad Gita and sexuality. It's highly offensive I'm not saying this is an attack on Hinduism or anything. Oppenheimer, as we all know, quoted Bhagavad Gita, but it is insensitive to say the least.
Many have demanded a ban on the movie in India. INB Minister Anurag Thakur has demanded an explanation from CBFC over the objectionable scene in the film Oppenheimer. The Information Commissioner has too raised objection and sought an answer.
हमारा पूरा जो फोकस है वो क्रिस्टोफर नोलन पे है कि भाई इस टाइप की फिल्में आप क्यों बनाते हो। अच्छी फिल्म थी कुल मिला के। कोई एक साइंटिस्ट अगर गीता में से प्रेरणा ले रहा है तो हमारे लिए गर्व की बात है। उसके अंदर ये सीन डालने की उनको क्या आवश्यकता थी, ये मुद्दा है।
All right, so friends, you have understood the debate, and let's start the conversation. Joining us, in fact, Uday Mahurkar, author, thinker and scholar of modern Indian history, is joining us live from Delhi. In fact, he runs this Save Culture, Save India platform, which has taken umbrage to that scene in Christopher Nolan's biopic of Oppenheimer, and that's something which has got the attention of not just people here in India, but platforms like CNN as well. Also joining us, Srijan Pal Singh. He is founder, Kalam Center, and CEO of the Homi Lab, live from Delhi. We'll try to understand some aspects of the intersection between science and cultural life through him. Let's begin with Mr. Mahurkar first. Mr. Mahurkar, very good evening. And if you could just explain for the benefit of viewers, what are your principal objections to the movie or the use of that scene in the movie, its placement in the movie?
Our objection is to the scene, not to the movie as a whole. The theme of the movie is very good in that sense because it is on a person who was the inventor of atom bomb and who drew inspiration from Bhagavad Gita. So that is good for us, for Indian civilization, for Hindu community, for India. But the scene is totally unwarranted. The scene is that Cillian Murphy, who is playing the role of Oppenheimer, he is having intercourse with his girlfriend. Girlfriend is showing him a book which is certainly Gita, and he's reading words from that book. Now this is an insult to Gita. Gita is a great book. Gita is a book which has a message for not just India or Hindus, it has a message for the entire world. So to show that such a book in such a manner was totally objectionable, and we thought that we cannot remain silent, and we decided to protest. So first I released a press note on this, saying
Mr.
that how did the
Mahurkar,
CBFC pass this,
the movie,
the government should take steps.
The movie uses that quote from Gita in many scenes. It's just one of the many scenes where it has been used. So it does not seem like a deliberate act.
So
are you suggesting there is an intent to hurt the sentiments?
No, there is an intent to add something titillating, which